What do you do with your hands, man?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Whoa!
So, we're continuing a piece that we started yesterday. Basically a giant fix-up, cover-up. So the dragon is actually covering up another dragon that he had. But it was like so undetailed, you could barely even tell it was a dragon. All you saw was like some spikes and some teeth, and that was about it. But he has some old work on his chest that he just doesn't want there anymore. So we're kind of taking the wing of the dragon up his chest to cover up that. Got pretty brutal yesterday, so we didn't get to get much else done, but there wasn't really much else we were gonna get done in the amount of time yesterday anyways. So rather than going behind the wing and sort of irritating all that a little bit more the second day, we decided to start fixing up his side piece that he has here. Which this we don't really have to necessarily cover up, it's kind of fixing up. Everything has really nice shape and it's all big enough, you know, nothing's too small to where all those little details won't hold up over time. But this piece is pretty old, so it lightened up a good amount. So we're kind of just putting that fresh shading in there. Right now I'm working on just blocking in and blacking out a lot of the background and stuff so we can get that nice contrast behind it. And then what I'm gonna do with these streaks, since it's all basically like flames and smoke, but you can't really tell the difference between the flames and smoke since it's all just black and gray and very light. I'm gonna do a little bit of color in with the black and gray, just like I did with the dragon. So all the highlights and everything on this side are gonna have like hints of those oranges and yellows and everything mixed with the black and gray, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the streaks, so you'll really be able to tell like what's fire, what's smoke. Right now I'm just using not really a big mag, but sort of a medium-sized mag. That way I can still get into these little shapes and crevices and everything like that. And then when it comes time for like the hair and parts of the face and everything, I'll probably pull out like a slightly bigger liner or a round mat or a round shader. So I'll either use like maybe a 7 liner or a 9 liner, or I think I got some 11 round shaders that might do the job a little bit faster. Right now it's just building up on a lot of those shapes and everything, trying to bring out the overall shape of the girl, because right now it just kind of gets lost in the background a little bit. But we'll really do well to separate that background from the foreground. I'm trying not to go around the piece that we did yesterday too much, but I want to bring it out a little bit from where it sits right now, because it kind of just cuts off into like a framed out shape. So I want to bring a little bit of that shading out just a little bit more, but not completely go around everything that we did yesterday. Just because I'm sure what we did yesterday does not feel good today.
No, sir. So Nate, there's one thing you want to focus on for today's session. Well, what's that going to be?
Really getting this girl looking good, and a lot of the background. I'd like to get to like the smoke and flames and everything around her, and focus on basically this big chunk right here. If we have to save like the sword and everything else for next time, I mean, he's got a few sessions on this whole chest and side anyways. So really, if we can get like the main part in the front looking good, I'd be happy with that. I'm really trying to get some dark contrast going on with the shadows. A lot of the times I start a piece and then I think, it's looking a little bit dark, so I start lightening it up, and then by the time I'm done, I'm like, that's too light. I should have just kept doing what I was doing.
That dragon head came out pretty dope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And for the girl and her skin tone, I'm doing like black and gray wash. So a little bit of that skin tone of his will naturally show through. And then for the smoke and stuff, I'm doing opaque grays, like black and white. So even then, you'll really be able to tell the difference between like the smoke and her skin tone that's still black and gray versus the actual reds and oranges and yellows of the fire.
Very cool. Very nice.
Oh, you think so?
I do think so.
You better know so.
Whoa. It's looking fresh, dog.
Oh, thank you. That's because I'm doing it right now.
Whoa, wow, sass from that stash.
Yeah, put a little bit of color in there, but I don't want to do the oranges and yellows just yet, since I'm still doing like black and the gray tones and everything. So I'll get most of the gray tones in there, and then we'll come back to it once we got most of the dark colors in and everything, and then do the orange and yellow. This is kind of what I was talking about too, with just trusting the process of the dark shades. You always got to have that contrast in there, especially to make the neon sort of colors look like neon. Because if you just do a bunch of bright colors, they're not really going to look bright unless you have that contrast coming in from the shadows. So now it's like the highlights on her body that I'm leaving stand out a lot more than if I were to just like fill in a little bit of the body shape with nothing but light gray tones. Yeah, so we're done for today. Pretty brutal spot, especially going back-to-back days. So at least we got the girl done. Got most of the flames done that are coming in front of the girl and everything. A little bit of smoke. But now, next time, we'll basically be finishing up the dragon wing, the highlights. We'll do more in the background up here to get the cover up going a little bit more. And then he still wants all this fixed up and everything. That's what the whole thing looked like before.
Right.
So we got a few more sessions, definitely. But I'm definitely happy with what we got done so far today and yesterday and everything. Kind of see where it's going.